Hi, I'm Mr. Shell Dollar. You can just call me Shell, and this is part 6 to my aquarium journey. As you can see, well, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. I'm not sure how well the camera quality is from there. But we have fish, and we'll get into that. We're going to start on some other things first. Kind of updating you on what's been happening on the past month, chronologically. First things first is that last part we got the snails in, which you can see here. They are much larger, I believe. I do believe they have grown, which is good. Means that they're eating properly and that their bodies are healthy enough to be able to grow. But I've also gotten more. I wanted 6. I was only able to get 4 for that video. However, the following week, I picked up 2 more. I picked up 2 black mystery snails specifically. There's one here, and another one is somewhere. Oh, he's right there at the plant. So, those 2 new ones have been doing perfectly well. Unfortunately, we have had our first loss this month. One of the mystery snails did pass away overnight. I didn't surprise me too much because that one was acting quite lethargic even for a mystery snail. And I don't believe it's anything I had control over, as the other snails are doing perfectly fine. They're eating and all that. There may have just been something wrong with it that I can't do anything about. Plants have been doing well. I did make some mistakes for a couple weeks because of how low maintenance this setup has been. I made the mistake of forgetting to put in fertilizers for a couple of weeks this month and a half. By this point, it's probably going to be closer to 2 months now getting this video out. I apologize for the delay. I have my reasons. So because of that, some of the plants, specifically these stem plants that I have forgotten the name of completely, they kind of have been suffering a tad bit, but I've done what I can to fix that. So, some of them being replanted, because some of them, basically, they're the bottom of the stem decayed and I had to replant. Some of those are doing well, some of them aren't. This one over here isn't doing too great at its tip. I might need to put in more fertilizer, we shall see. This one over here doesn't look to be doing too good either. However, everything over here and that one back there seem to be both doing fine. So maybe I need to put in more fertilizers. I just need to be more careful because I don't want to add too much ammonia or other dangerous chemicals into the system and cause death to the animals. And the animals are the priority. Speaking of animals, as you can see, there are fish. Hooray! They are rice fish, specifically orange rice fish. So originally the plan was to get celestial pearl danios in the tank first, as they're going to be the most shy, and I need a bunch of them. However, none were for sale. Anywhere. No matter, I went to local stores, I went online, I could not find any good for sale, and I didn't want to get them shipped in. So because of that, I didn't get Miss CP Celestial Pearl Danios this time around. I got the rice fish first. And for the most part, it's been doing very well. I do have a plan to get the Celestial Pearl Danios. They'll be the next one. There's a local store that I can basically get them ordered in. So I will likely do that. We'll start buying the Celestial Pearl Danios. We're starting with the rice fish first off. Going off of the bit of what's been going on with them, off camera, there's a 15-gallon quarantine tank that I moved them into. In there, they did well. I don't believe any of them died in quarantine. I kept them in there a week, and most of them seemed fairly healthy. I do believe afterward, I saw one of them may have had a digestive parasite because it was very scrawny and small. And I would have moved it out and put medicine in, but for reasons I'll explain in a moment, I did not do this, and I do believe they have passed away. Moving them into the tank, though, after most of them being all good in quarantine, I didn't see any of them looking bad in quarantine. They've been doing pretty dang well All of them, like, they ate immediately. I didn't have any issues with them feeding at all. They ate. They're doing fairly well with the mystery snails. Every once in a while, I'll see one of them pick at the antenna of a snail, but this isn't like a frequent issue, and they're not like biting off parts of the antenna or anything. They kind of just nip at the end, and so no damage to the snail. Everybody's doing fine. I've been learning, however. So in the past, I've kept live bearers. I've kept swordtails, mosquito fish. I believe that's really it. Let's see. Yeah, I do believe that's it. And with those, they just exist and breed. There's no much behavior going on there that's you can see other than like the breeding process. That's really it. However, with these guys, they're not, and I was assuming the rice fish would be like that, just that they lay eggs. This is not the case. I've witnessed these rice fish, and you may even see it on camera, that the males exhibit territorial behavior. One of them originally did this in the quarantine tank, and also that same individual did the same in this tank. And all the males, I'll see them chasing off other males and chasing females, and that is territorial behavior, which is very interesting. I'm very glad that I'm actually getting the chance to keep these guys, because I've always wanted to, ever since I found out about them, and now I'm finally able to. For the most part, they've been doing well, and they were doing so well that they have begun breeding. I've seen now 2 females carrying eggs. The way that these Medaka rice fish breed is that the female carries the eggs basically under herself, and just swims around with it until they hatch. I don't know if they deposit them at all, like if she'll, once they reach a certain time, she'll deposit the eggs or not. But all I've seen is that they are just carrying them around. And there's now 2 females doing it, which is really cool. I did make a very unfortunate mistake recently, however, regarding the canister filter. Having the canister filter in the system is a little bit of a pain, as due to the height of the tank and the height requirements for the siphon system of the canister filter to work properly, every once in a while there will be hiccups, and it will start to just make loud noises because there's probably air in the system, and very annoying. It did that one night, so I started messing with the flow of it, giving it higher flow to fix it, lower, whatever. At some point, I turned off the actual flow of it to see if just basically turning it off and back on again, see if that'll fix the issue. It didn't really, but now I mean, it makes that noise every once in a while, but I don't believe there's any effect on the actual, like, filtration. I think it's just air gets in the system, so it's making some noise, but I don't think there's actually any, like, issues with it. I'm going to pay attention to make sure that I'm not incorrect, but, you know. But this happened at night, and I have, with the fluval lighting, I have it connected to an automated system, so it turns off and on frequently. So the lights were off. Obviously, it was nighttime. When I turned off the filtration, this intake sponge here, it's only kept up by the suction of the intake. And when I turned that off, it fell off, meaning that there was nothing guarding that intake. I did not realize that it had fallen off until the following morning. I do believe that some individuals did get sucked up into the filtration, as I bought 12 individuals, and I believe I now have 8. Some of those, I think, I hypothesize that some of them did die, and their bodies were probably just eaten by the snails, but I do think I lost a couple being sucked up into the filtration. Which sucks, because one of them was that one territorial male that I actually really liked a bunch. So, very unfortunate. What I may do in the future is I have the fishing line that I use to tie the plants onto the wood. I may also basically tie that intake sponge. The only reason I'm hesitant to do this is because the way it's set up right now, it's very easy to take that off. With a fishing line, it may be more difficult because I have to retie it every time. However, if it means the safety of the animals, womp womp, an extra step won't hurt. So I will certainly consider doing that. And perhaps in the next part you'll see if I decide to do that or not. Outside of that, we're doing well. Again, there's signs of them breeding, which is fantastic. I wasn't expecting it so soon. However, these seem to be just as prolific as live bears, as I've been told. So I'll probably get babies pretty dang soon. My plan is that once fry appear, I'm going to catch them and then put them into the quarantine tank, try to raise them up. I won't do this every single time because I don't want to end up with a bajillion rice fish in this tank, as I'm also going to be keeping platies in this tank, which will also breed like crazy. Heck, I may not even take them out and just do a survival of the fittest situation, and the ones that don't get eaten are the only ones that make it to adulthood. We'll see. That's a little cruel, but I'll decide whether I do that or not. Maybe you could give some advice. But yeah. Unfortunately, I did want to record this video earlier. Like I said, I had my reasons for this coming out so late. I wanted to originally make this video when we moved them in, but I just, for some reason, my brain wasn't functioning and I wasn't able to really, record and speak properly. So that did not occur. I was also just excited to get the fish into the tank. So, there's that. And I believe I wanted to record soon after that, but at that time, I was borrowing some equipment from family members, and they went on vacation. So because of that, I didn't have that equipment available. This new microphone I have, I didn't receive until later, and I would still need assistance for recording. So, forgive me for the delay. I'm sure it's probably 2 months now since the last video. I didn't check. If not, it's been certainly a month and a half, because I also wanted to wait until we got the fish in. So, yeah. But hopefully I won't do that next time. Next video should be the Celestial Pearl Danios. And, yeah, I do believe that is it. Thank you for watching. If you do have any information or tips you can give me, feel free to do so, as I am still learning, and any information you can provide will be very helpful. And, yeah, I'll see you later.